America, land of the free, home of the brave, and a hotbed of government secrets? This isn't conspiracy. This is documented, archived, and deliberately buried. We're about to pull back the curtain on a side of America they don't put on the postcards. Here are 10 things the US government doesn't want you to know, and once you hear them, you won't see the country the same again. We like to think of ourselves as the good guys, right? Spreading democracy, fighting for freedom. But the truth is far more complicated. Since the 1950s, the CIA has been involved in overthrowing democratically elected leaders around the world. In 1953, it was Iran, where Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh was ousted in a coup orchestrated by the CIA. Fast forward to 1973, and we find ourselves in Chile, where President Salvador Allende met a grim end in a coup, again with the fingerprints of the CIA all over it. For 40 years, the U.S. Public Health Service conducted a study on syphilis. They recruited hundreds of black men from Macon County, Alabama, men who believed they were receiving free health care. These men were never told they had syphilis. Instead, they were given placebos, aspirin, and iron tonic, even as penicillin became the standard treatment for syphilis. The Tuskegee syphilis study wasn't just bad science, it was a monstrous betrayal of trust that left an indelible stain on American history. Remember the outrage after 9/11, when everyone learned about the Patriot Act and the government's vast surveillance powers? Well, it all started long before that. For decades, the NSA has been collecting data on Americans on a massive scale, scooping up phone records, emails, internet browsing history, you name it. This wasn't targeted surveillance of suspected terrorists. This was a dragnet operation, capturing the communications of ordinary citizens, all without their knowledge or consent. The petrodollar deal, fueling American power, oil, the lifeblood of the global economy. And for decades, the United States has gone to extraordinary lengths to control it. In the 1970s, the U.S. struck a deal with Saudi Arabia, a deal that would reshape the geopolitical landscape. In exchange for U.S. military protection, Saudi Arabia agreed to price all of its oil sales in U.S. dollars. This created the petrodollar system, cementing the U.S. dollar as the world's reserve currency. It was a brilliant, if cynical move ensuring American economic dominance. The deal with Saudi Arabia wasn't just about oil, it was about power. The power to shape global markets, influence economies, and maintain U.S. hegemony. Nuclear guinea pigs, U.S. soldiers in the fallout zone, the 1950s, the dawn of the atomic age, a time of both promise and paranoia. It was also a time when the U.S. government conducted a series of nuclear tests not in some remote, uninhabited corner of the world but right here at home. And the most shocking part? They exposed their own soldiers to the fallout. These were human beings, young men who signed up to serve their country, unaware they were being used as guinea pigs in a dangerous game. The Gulf of Tonkin. Incident fabricating a war, August 1964, the Gulf of Tonkin. A U.S. destroyer allegedly attacked by North Vietnamese torpedo boats. This was the incident that led to the Gulf of Tonkin resolution, giving President Lyndon B. Johnson broad authority to escalate U.S. involvement in Vietnam. But here's the thing, it never happened. Declassified documents revealed that the Gulf of Tonkin incident was, at best, a case of mistaken identity, at worst, a deliberate fabrication. Legalized bribery, the corrupting influence of lobbying. We all know money talks in Washington, but the extent to which it influences policy is truly staggering. Corporations, industry groups, and wealthy donors pour millions into lobbying efforts, seeking to sway lawmakers in their favor. Lobbyists wine and dine lawmakers, shower them with campaign contributions, and offer them lucrative job opportunities after they leave office. The war on drugs, a war on communities of color. The 1970s saw the launch of the war on drugs, a campaign that promised to rid America of the scourge of narcotics. But this war, like so many others, was built on a foundation of lies and deceit. The Nixon administration admitted they deliberately targeted black communities and anti-war activists, using drug offenses as a pretext to disrupt these groups and silence dissent. The School of the Americas exporting violence and repression, Nestled in the heart of Georgia, the School of the Americas, later renamed the Western Hemisphere Institute for Security Cooperation, has trained generations of military and police officers from Latin America. This was a school that taught torture, assassination, and counterinsurgency tactics, all under the watchful eye of U.S. instructors. Graduates of the School of the Americas went on to lead some of the most brutal regimes in Latin America, responsible for countless human rights abuses. The illusion of choice, your reality carefully curated. We live in the information age, where knowledge is power. But what if the information you consume is being filtered, manipulated, and controlled? Social media, search engines, news outlets, they all claim to be neutral platforms, but the reality is far more complex. These platforms are shaped by algorithms, driven by data, and influenced by partnerships with governments and corporations. The truth will set you free, but first it will make you furious. Look, I get it, this is a lot to process. But here's the thing, these are not theories, they're facts. Inconvenient, uncomfortable, and buried for a reason. The more we know about the systems we live in, the better equipped we are to challenge them, to demand accountability, and to create a more just and equitable world. Thank you for making it to the end of the video. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, subscribe for more.